What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great day. Appreciate you taking the time, tuning in, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, becoming members, all the things you're doing to support the channel. I cannot thank you enough for the support, but we're here. It is week 14 that we are going into here, and the game's on Monday, so everything's pushed back a day. Tomorrow will be the initial injury report, but here and now, it is behind enemy lines. We're going to talk about that Week 14 Eagles opponent, the Los Angeles Chargers. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk about their coaches, how they have this team doing with the stats, the standings, and then we'll take a look at the team, their injury list, everything going on with them. We're going to talk about it, get to know the opponent. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. You have any opinions, any questions, anything you'd like to add, leave a comment down below. Whenever you're watching this, always down to talk some birds. And, well, maybe you want to talk some bolts. Maybe you're one of those fans. I'm always down, regardless of what it is. Always have a good time breaking these down, especially when the opponent tunes in. You know, I try to be fair in my assessment and always talk about reality rather than just the hot takes and losing our minds out here. So we see the chaos. I don't know if you guys checked out Hard Knocks last night. I did. I enjoyed it. The narratives they're spinning about us going to come back to bite him right in the ass. I promise you that. Everyone will be on board with the Eagles here soon enough. But we got to get it done week in and week out. We haven't done that the last 2 weeks. So this week, another tough opponent could be down a very special player. But we're going to talk about it all right here, right now. Let's go behind enemy lines with the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to start it off. Let's take a look at that coaching staff. And one of my favorite coaches, I grew up watching him play. Yes, I'm old, but Jim Harbaugh, man, oh my Lord. This dude, he's fun. He's got great energy, and you look around the NFL, they talk about him. They love that kind of energy. Now, Nick Sirianni, same kind of coach. They hate him. And you know why that is? Well, it's because he's the Philadelphia Eagles coach. So good for them. But they've got little cap space here, added all they can this year. But this is a team that is not only stacked with players, but look at this coaching staff. Greg Roman, that run-heavy style offense, definitely going to try to pound it right down our throats, especially if Omari and Hampton comes back for them. But, you know, they've got themselves, I mean, holy hell. You look, just right here in itself, I think, you know, with Hampton and Vidal, we know what the Eagles did. I'm not going to – it's a week in, week out kind of league. I'm not going to lose my mind here. But – you know, Justin Herbert, if he's playing, that's going to be a big thing for them. And then, you know, they have a real good defense, actually. And Jesse Minter, you remember when we were talking about those coaches, we talked about Minter a couple years ago. I, you know, likened him to the Vic Fangio style, you know, a little more aggressive, I would say, in his blitzing. But, you know, the same kind of concept, the two high safeties, kind of the post-snap movement. We talk about the keys and, you know, what players are supposed to do. That very similar to Vic Fangio style when you talk about, you know, using those odd fronts and even fronts a lot of the time on, you know, those passing downs. So a lot of similarities here, but I'm ready for it, man. I think, you know, this is going to be really fun to watch. Two very animated head coaches, and, you know, they've got pretty damn good coordinators here. And I know people feel a certain way about the Eagles coordinators, but hopefully we'll get those people on board with the Eagles soon enough. But let's take a look at how the Chargers have been doing with this, you know, coaching staff. We talk about how good they are. You know, without a dual threat quarterback, Greg Roman, this offense, not exactly, you know, jumping off the charts, but they've had some injuries here. They've got some real good receivers, a young tight end. Their running back's very promising. Unfortunately, you know, gets banged up. The old head running back they brought in also was banged up before him. So, you know, take it all with a grain of salt, but still 12th in the league in rushing, 12th in passing there. They're number 10 in total yardage, just 18th in points, 27th in giving up sacks. Middle of the pack there, you see turnovers. And then on defense, you know, 11th in points, but 3rd in yardage, 2nd against the pass. This is a team, you know, we are definitely going to try to open the offense up and run the damn ball. But I'd like to see the pass attack do some things. But they get after it, man. They get sacks. And you can see a little bit more of the bottom of the pack there with turnovers. But this is a really talented defense. And, you know, we talk about the offense. I don't really care about stats, man. I showed these things for you guys for the sake of the show. Take it all with a grain of salt. It is, you know, a talking point. It is something you can look at and, you know, see how they've been successful throughout the year, but anything can happen. We talked about last week, we need to be the team running the ball down the Bears' throats. But we did not do that. They ran down our throats. So it just goes to show you, we talk about the NFL and how awesome it is that, it's a week in and week out kind of league where, people are jumping ship all these weeks. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Now we're going into week 14, but we still have this talent. We are going to get Lane Johnson back. This line with Stoutland is going to get it together. So we got to believe. And we control our destiny. But this Chargers team, they're looking to move themselves up too. They've got themselves a pretty tough division here with the top three teams. Broncos at 10-2, Chargers there at 8-4, and then you've got the Chiefs behind them at 6-6. So they are looking, to, if they can't win this division, get one of those wild card spots. And right now they sit at that top wild card spot in the AFC at number 5 here. And this team 8-4. And, I think, again, a talented team, but, the teams that they did beat, they started off this season beating the Chiefs and the Broncos, and then they lost to the Giants and Commanders, and it was like, wait, what? And, they got some more wins here, and they got spanked by the Jaguars pretty badly, but then they just beat up on the Raiders. So it's real up and down, but again, a lot of injuries and things, but find themselves 8-4, so we'll see what that does for them, but let's take a look now at what this team looks like, and we'll take a look at the injuries first before we get into this depth chart. But you guys can let me know how you feel about any of that stuff I just showed you or this upcoming team here. Have any thoughts you'd like to add? I'd love to hear from you. But looking at the injury list, you can see Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, both of their tackles at the start of the year on IR. That blows. Najee Harris out for the season. Amari and Hampton, you can see designated to return, and as well as Otito Ogbanya there. So they've got a couple of players that could come off IR here this week. I'm sure they're hopeful that that is what happens, but you can see these guys that will not be on the upcoming depth chart here. Let's first look at the offense. And again, Justin Herbert, he's having surgery on his left wrist. We'll see if he's ready to go here. The running back position, you got Vidal and Patterson. They had elevated one of their practice squad running backs, Travion Williams, last week, but could get Amari and Hampton back, which would be huge for them. I think they will get him back this week. But you can see they added Keenan Allen back. They got him after a few years away. You got Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey there, and, or a year away, whatever. And then you've got the rookie, Aronde Gadsden, who pretty talented there. So we're going to have to watch out for him. But the line, you can see how they've been moving things around. Mekhi Becton's been having a very horrible year for them. But we've been talking about their struggles on the line. They've just been giving up a lot of sacks. And they want to be able to run the ball, but you don't want it to be too one-dimensional. So we'll see how this line stacks up against this Eagles D-line. Looking forward, talking about these top matchups here, but they do use their D lineman as a fullback. Let's not forget that, Scott Matlock. So that should be intriguing. But, Justin Herbert, he's going to probably have 3,000 yards after this game. He's already at 2,800 plus. So kid's having himself a year, 236.8 yards per game. He's got 21 touchdowns. 10 interceptions. He's been sacked 38 times. So, a little wild there. But Hampton was averaging 4.8 yards per carry. Had a couple touchdowns. If they get him back, dude's a bruiser. Going to have to watch out for that after we just got ran over by Monungai and Swift. And then, you got McConkey here, 11.8 yards per catch. Keenan Allen, 10.4 yards per catch, 14.1 for Gadsden. Quentin Johnson, 13.1. So they will look for the deep shot. They will look for crossing routes. They will definitely do those things to us. And you got 5 touchdowns for McConkey, 4 for Keenan Allen. You got 2 for Gadsden. Quentin Johnson has 7 touchdowns on the season. So they've got some firepower here, ladies and gentlemen. So if we can put some pressure on them, make things difficult, take away that run game, we'll have a chance here. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, we talk about how talented they are. They got some monsters here. Rookies in the middle. They added Sean Hand as well. Diane Henley, definitely one of the names I think underrated here in this defense. But you got Tua below 2 there with Mac. Yes, you guys remember that name, huh? Former Eagles brother there. But you can see this defense has the names. Derwin James is there. Dante Jackson they added. They've got some pieces on the depth here. You've got Tarheeb still at nickel corner. So a lot of talent. Khalil Mack, Old Man River still there. So, hey, man, getting sacks, his team is doing its damn thing. And, I think, when you look at names, sure, but Khalil Mack's got 4.5 sacks. He's still got some left in the tank. So, hey, they added Owe. They've got, Tupelotu there with 10 sacks. So these guys, they will definitely come to play. This offense better effing bring it, please. Tulo. And then on the special teams, Darius Davis. Kid's got explosiveness, man. We got to watch out there. He does both punt and kick returning for them. So we're going to have to shut him down. Former Eagle, Dicker the kicker. Old Cameron Dicker there doing his thing. Really having a great career for the Chargers after he left the Eagles. But we only needed him because Elliott was banged up. So good for him. Do your damn thing. But not on Monday. And then you can see the practice squad here. We talked about Travion Williams. Might not need to elevate him if you get yourself back. Omari and Hampton on IR, the running back there. So, look, man, that quarterback's name, Ugalele, yeah. But you've got a few wide receivers, tight end, a few offensive linemen. Then you can see a couple vets, Pico, Marcus Williams on the defense there, some rookies. But this is the practice squad. They can elevate two of those players come Sunday. But that is what the Chargers team looks like. And, well, that's the breakdown I have for you heading into Week 14 against the Los Angeles Chargers. But tomorrow will be the initial injury report. You'll know what's going on for both the Eagles and the Chargers. Obviously, some big news for both teams. We'll go over that. And then on Friday, you will have the top matchup show with an updated injury report. Of course, Saturday will be the game status report, so you'll know who's out, who's questionable. Then on Monday, they will come up with the practice squad elevations earlier in the day before that game. So pregame show, you'll have that information with the game inactives, all that great stuff. So that is your schedule for this week. Any kind of signings or things happen, I will do my best to get a show out when I can. But all I've got for you here and now, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe down below, and join the family. But look, I know spirits are down for a lot of people. Try to keep them high, man. This Chargers team is good, but if you go out, and we talk about these losses, this is a way to build character. This is a way, and you saw it on the show last night if you watched. This is exactly what we've been talking about. I'm not jumping ship, man. I'm right here flying high with my birds, and I'm ready to watch them get on track and watch everyone jump right back on the bandwagon. So let's effing go. But I want to hear from you. I want to know how you're feeling. But all I've got for you here and now, you guys know it doesn't have to be about the birds. You need anything, you can always reach out. But have yourselves a great rest of your day. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!